Alright, so I've got a few more observations that I wanted to record. We're working with the same layout as before, but this is the new arrangement. You can see there, that's the arrangement there based on the coils. And that's 15 LEDs, 15 LEDs. That's not a Zener diode or anything like that. That was just me starting to draw it mistakenly. Just ignore that part. It's just a normal, they're just normal LEDs. So we're running at 31.2 kilohertz at 10% duty cycle. We are at 12.7 volts, 2.12 milliamps, and yeah, so that's at least 30 volts and 30 volts there, minimum there. There's LEDs light up at higher voltages than that, but for argument's sake, let's just say it's 30 and 30 volts. That's not what's interesting, even though this is a one-to-one wound coil. There shouldn't be any sort of increase, but okay. What I want to record is the fact that there's a very interesting dynamic between the duty cycle and the way that these LEDs are arranged. In this arrangement, if you do this, and if you can watch, try to get everything in one shot. If you can watch the milliamps, these LEDs, as to which ones are bright and not bright, and in the duty cycle and frequency. So I'm going to lower the duty cycle, the LEDs get dimmer. Now we're at 8% duty cycle. Now these are dimmer than these ones, whereas normally these dominate. Duty cycle down again. Now these are the only ones that are lit, these are completely off. And at 6%, these are completely off. Okay, interesting. Back to 10%. And everything goes back to normal. Now, let's go down in frequency. Oops, down and up. We will go down to 10 kilohertz. We are now at 10 kilohertz. The LEDs go dimmer a little bit. We are drawing more milliamps. We're at 10%. But now here's the interesting part for what happens when we play with the duty cycle. 9%, 8%, 7%, 6%. Let's do that again. 7%, we're at 2.2 milliamps, 2.3. Lower duty cycle, 1.7 milliamps. These LEDs got brighter. 5%. We're at 1.15. These dimmed down. 4%. These dimmed down. These are staying the same. 85 milliamps. 3% duty cycle. 65 milliamps. And these are pretty much equal in brightness. 2%, and they're completely off. 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%, 7%. Notice how these dim down and these stay the same brightness between 6 and 7%. So they dim down and the amperage goes up, whereas low duty cycle, amperage goes down, these are brighter. Now we're back to normal. 11%, 12%. There's nothing to be gained on this side of the duty cycles. But that there is quite fascinating to me. That really shows the dynamic between these bucking coils that you have there and the trigger. And the next step would be to play around with placement of the trigger. So I guess a hollow core or some sort of movement like Don, I guess, had. And then we can play around with these and the arrangement. But yeah, duty cycle has a real interesting effect on this. Now I still don't have my Coil, so I don't have any way of scoping these, but I apparently have ordered 2, so I'm going to have 2, and I'll be able to have a look at the waveforms that these are making. But I just thought that was quite interesting. 6%, 1.67, and if we increase the frequency, let's say we just go to 20, halfway, dim down, is it 5%, 4%. That duty cycle really does play a role in the triggering of this. Now I do have, I'm not sure if I showed this in the last previous video, not sure if you'll be able to see it. This is a J13007-2. It's a high frequency, high voltage what are they called? Oh geez, it's not a MOSFET, it's a transistor, NPN transistor, that's the word. But I will need to look up its capacitance and things like that, because from what I've been learning from AboveUnity.com and hyiq.org, and Chris from his videos, I've been getting this, and I've been trying to learn as best I can. Although I'm a visual learner, I am not a reader, so yeah, I'm getting there. But yeah, capacitance in these really does matter, although he talks about the capacitance as MOSFETs. But from what I understand, transistors have capacitance between the collectors and emitters and all that themselves. So I think that's where the duty cycle and everything is playing a role. But again, I need my bloody Coil to be able to have a look at all that. But yeah, anyways, just wanted to document that.